Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today we are planning out the week of April 1st through the 7th using this Caress Press Cyber Monday self-love kit. I absolutely love the colors and the art of this kit. I am also planning in my Caress Press inserts. And then for foil this week, I am using some Caress Press, a foil bundle from Caress Press, and then I also have some foil from Plana Hannah, who I do PR for. I'll leave any codes for shops that I PR for in the description box down below. I definitely felt like Lavender Hollow was the move this week as far as foil goes, although I did debate silver. But I have another silver spread coming this month, and I just don't use Lavender Hollow enough. I'm obsessed with these heart and flower underlays from Plana Hannah this year. I think they might be my most used underlays this year. I've used them at least 3 times. So they're a favorite. Also, Lucy and Olivia are living their best life. I just had to move my phone, which is my microphone, because of where Lucy moved to. So hopefully that wasn't annoying. This is my 3rd voiceover I filmed today. Today is Thursday, May 9th. So I do have some questions pulled up. I mentioned that a couple Plan With Me's back, but I just have never gotten around to them because I don't think I'm going to have enough stuff to talk about as far as like events that happened this week. So some big things that happened that I want to talk about is Fall Out Boy posted photos from the shows I'd been to on their Instagram, and I'm in one of them. And then they also reshared my video on their Instagram, which is always exciting. We all know that's the first time I've ever found myself in one of their photos, other than like the big, large, like group like photos. And then this week I had some tooth pain that thank goodness went away. I didn't have any cavities or anything. I ended up going to the dentist, and luckily it was just like a random occurrence. They don't see anything wrong, but that was a thing that happened. It was also 15 years since the first time I met Fall Out Boy, which is wild. And then, oh my god, my voice, I'm so sorry. And then it was the end of their tour as well. I didn't go to it, but I still marked it because I like to kind of keep up with it. Also, for this big trip I keep mentioning that's coming up this summer, this week, I did complete all of my paperwork and have it submitted for the trip. My mom wasn't done at this point, but at least my part was done. So, I enjoyed that. Then I just felt like using very whimsical foil with lots of butterflies, hearts, flowers, that kind of thing. It just felt like it worked with like the rainbow, good vibes slippers, the smiley faces on some of the post-it notes. Something about this foil was just really doing it for me and was really fun and whimsical, like this art. I'm really into the whole self-care kits this year. I feel like I'm using a lot of them, and I know more art just came out at the time I'm recording this. Clip Art Kits just released her new art. But yeah, those are kind of like the big things that happened this week. Nothing crazy, kind of a very average week, which nothing wrong with that. So, some questions. Let's go ahead and get into it. Who is your dream dinner guest and what are you cooking for them? Now, this is such a complicated question. Now, first off, I wouldn't be cooking. They don't want anything. I can cook. I promise you. It's not good. They don't want it. I'm not cooking. That would just not be enjoyable for either of us. I would just be so stressed that they wouldn't like it. And I just couldn't handle it. So, first and foremost, I wouldn't be cooking. But who would, like, be my dream person to have dinner with? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is somebody from Fall Out Boy. But I also feel like that's too obvious. I almost want to say Like Sophia Bush or Brendan Urie, or even, like, I don't know if you want to count people that are alive or not, or like who have passed away, but I almost want to say somebody like Cleopatra, or I don't know, somebody like really big like that would be fun. If I could trade places with anybody for a day, who would it be? Oh, so, this is so random, but part of me, like the first thing that came into my head was Alex Earl, because I just don't know how she does it all. Like, I don't know. It amazes me. Like, anybody that has a super busy life that is always here, there, and everywhere, I don't know how they do it. But then also, like, I'd kind of just want to trade places with somebody that's just, like, super, super famous and, like, a billionaire, so that I could just, like, relax on their yacht all day or something boring like that and just have a good old vacation. Let's see. Some of these questions are kind of weird. So, if I can only eat one meal for the rest of eternity, what would it be? Part of me wants to say pizza because you can do a lot with it, but popcorn also came into my head. Can you describe your favorite birthday ever? Easily, that would be my 18th birthday. My mom surprised me, and I didn't know it was happening, and she flew my favorite cousin, who was like my best friend at the time, Dana, in for it. And we ended up going to a casino that you could gamble at 18 nearby, and I won like $800, and we went to my favorite restaurant that made this like homemade pasta. This restaurant's no longer open. And then we went to NASCAR for a couple days. We went to see Mayday Parade and the Academy Is. We went to see the Latin MTV Music Awards, which ended up being the show that Fall Out Boy announced their hiatus at. So it was just such a good week with like all of my favorite things. Fall Out Boy and NASCAR. The only thing that would have made it better would be going to Disney, but definitely my 18th birthday was my favorite birthday. What are some of your favorite smells? I love jasmine a lot. I tend to like, when I look up perfumes that I like and what notes are in them, jasmine tends to be a really common one for me. But in my house, I like, if I'm burning like a candle or something, it depends on the time of year. A lot of the year, I like kind of fruity scents. If we get more into the fall and like Christmas, I like scents that smell like a man. More bakery type scents as well. Those kinds of things. What's the season you love most? Fall. I find it so refreshing after the hot summer. Like the crisp air just feels so good. Which is also why I like spring, because the warm air feels good after the cold months. But just something about fall is just so cozy and warm and feels like a hug every year, and I just love it. Sorry, these are like, I'm realizing that some of these are supposed to be with like a partner, you know? So, what is the scariest moment of your life? The scariest thing I experienced that came to mind was being on an airplane that was hit by lightning when I was 7. The plane made the loudest boom I've ever heard in my life, and we fell a bunch. I don't even know how far. It felt like we fell a really long way, but we probably didn't. And then all the power kicked back on, and we kept going. And it's made me hate Lightning? Hate lightning. What's your favorite memory tied to a holiday? I hate holidays. The first thing that came into my mind, probably because I'm talking so much about Fall Out Boy today, was when they released Immortals, which was a song they did for a Disney movie on my birthday. Who was your first celebrity crush? My first big celebrity crush was Chad Michael Murray. My childhood bedroom was covered, like, every single wall and parts of the ceiling with posters of him. We're talking, like, insane amounts. I had to watch everything he was in. I was obsessed with him. Also, the fact that A Cinderella Story is almost going to be 20 years old is just insane to me, and not something, like, I feel like I'm just getting older and older. I feel like I'm ancient at this point. Yes, but we're going to go ahead and wrap up the questions here because I don't think I have time to actually answer another one before we go ahead and pop on into the day by day of this plan with me. But here we go into Monday the 1st. The first thing that went up was my love brunch plan with me. And this day I did sleep in because this was the day after the crazy Fall Out Boy weekend. And I just marked that I was exhausted doing 2 shows back to back, and especially having to travel and sleep somewhere else, and just like, it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. And then I marked that I got my hair done this day, which was terrible planning on my part, but it happened anyways, which is not that hard to sit in a chair, but it was just, I was exhausted and I wasn't really in the mood for it. And then I marked that I was in Fall Out Boy's Instagram photo, and that they shared my story. And then I went ahead and put in that my mom and I watched Queen Charlotte. Then moving into Tuesday the 2nd, the first thing I put in was that I did my makeup, and then I went to work. While I was at work, my mom left this day. She'd been at my house this weekend to be a gem and watch Lucy and Olivia. Olivia hates my parents' house, and it's really stressful on her. So my mom was like, I get a break from your father, and I get to come watch your cat and your dog and just help out. So it was really nice of her. And then I came home and I planned, and this day we had a tornado watch. So that was unfortunate. And then I watched Below Deck. Moving into Wednesday, April 3rd, the first thing I put in was that I watched Vanderpump Rules this morning before work, and then I did my makeup and I went to work. Then in the afternoon, I had some tooth pain, and then I went tanning. And then this night I took I took a bubble bath, and I was probably, whatever book I was reading at the time, I was probably listening to, which I want to say was Crescent City. That book took me forever to finish. Here is the first half of April, the first half of the week, which is April 1st through the 3rd. Wow, I am struggle busting right now with sentences and Englishing. And then this week, I just didn't have the time to get another video up like I ideally wanted, but it is what it is. We're working on it. And then this day I watched Disney's Wish for the first time. I have a sticker or a doodle from one of my friends that she drew of the little star from Wish that I keep needing to print out and put in here. But like I said, I've been lazy and haven't done my printing. Then I watched The Valley. This day I did take a nap. I think I was still recovering from the weekend. And then I did my editing and I tidied up my house. Moving into Friday, April 5th, it was Keaton's birthday, so I had to mark that. And then it was 15 years since the first time I met Fall Out Boy. I don't know if I'll ever quit marking that day. It's just one of those things every year. I just will never forget it. And then I did my makeup and I went to work. Then this day after work, I had to go to the doctor to get basically a permission slip saying I was in good enough health to go on the trip we're going on. And then I went tanning and I stopped at Target afterwards to pick up some ice cream to reward myself for going to the doctor. And then I used a little Mickey head from a foil bundle to mark that I pulled it out of a Scribble Prints Co. bundle to mark that all my trip documents were done. And then I took a bubble bath again. Moving into Saturday the 6th, I decided to watch Wreck-It Ralph. I've just been in a Disney phase, when am I not? And then I did my makeup and I went to work. After work, I stopped and went tanning. And then this night I had a complete mental breakdown. Unfortunately, a lot of times after Fall Out Boy tours are over and I'm done with their shows, it tends to happen. And then this night was the end of Tour Dust, so I had to put that in as well. Moving into Sunday, the 7th, the first thing I marked was that I slept in this day because it was my day off. And then I put in that I was feeling depressed. This day was also Sheet Sunday, so I did my laundry, washed my sheets and my towels. And then NASCAR was on, and it was Martinsville. So I just used a little Planet Hannah flag for that. This day I did watch Ralph Breaks the Internet. I took a nap and then I did some planning, and while I was planning I decided to watch Lilo and Stitch, and I decided to use a Scrump for this spread because if you don't know, I love Scrump. I would love a Scrump plushie, like a replica, but yeah, so one of my favorite character stickers to use. Whenever I'm marking Lilo and Stitch, I have a hard time not using that sticker just because I love Scrump so much. Is Scrump even technically considered a character? I mean, Lilo does think she's alive. I mean, you know. So here's the second half of the week, April 4th through the 7th, up close. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the scripts that Hannah foiled for me that I formatted myself. I think it is called Pink Blossom something. I'll have it linked down below for you, of course. And then the little quote in the sidebar, I chose a Demi Lovato quote because I love me some Demi, and it says, "I'm my own worst critic, talk a whole lot of shit, but I'm a 10 out of 10 even when I forget," which is one of my favorite lyrics of hers of all time. And I just felt like with depression towards the end of the week and this being a self-love kit, that was the perfect song and song lyric to use for this week. I did debate on what sticker to use for cutting my hair for a while because I didn't have any that matched perfectly to color block with, which is the issue when I color block, is I have a really hard time when things don't match perfectly, but I'm trying to just be like, it's okay, because when you zoom out, a lot of times you don't even notice. I'm trying to be more lenient with that, but it's so hard. Like, I like things to be so matchy-matchy. Which, speaking of these nails, do not match this spread whatsoever. But that brings us to the end of this plan with me. If you've made it this far, let me know what's something you do to take care of yourself for your mental health. For me, it is working out, which I didn't do this week. It was a rest week. And it is also like baths, reading, planning, that kind of thing. If you are struggling, just know you are not alone. My DMs for you are open. It is RoseyPlans on Instagram, like it is here. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, friends!